I'm here in Mesa, Arizona with Matt Hamilton, who is the owner of Solar Exchange. Is that right? You are the owner?
I'm the co-owner, 50% owner, along with Eric Ritz.
Great. Well, tell us about what you guys are doing at Solar Exchange.
Well, we have for 22 years been doing solar power in Arizona and have done other things around the world. When we first started, it was all off-grid. There was no such thing as grid-tied solar power at all. And so now we do a lot of grid tie as well, and we have married grid tie, where it's a simple matter of displacing people's power bills, with the kind of solar electricity that allows you to have backup in the event of power failures as well. We've married grid tie with off-grid, making people capable of displacing power bill and still have power available to their homes when necessary, if the grid fails, or for an hour, for a day, a week, a month, or a year.
Well, what you're doing, this tie-in with the grids, is really what I want to ask you about mostly, because here we are, we're April of 2011, and as we talk, the power is still running through the lines mostly, although in February of this year down here in East Valley, we had a couple of pretty significant power outages where the power went out for up to an hour and a half out here. And it certainly changes the way that life works. You know, all the signals are out and that sort of thing. And it didn't happen just once. It happened twice. And then we had a smaller one too. And so one time might be a coincidence, but it leads me to believe, amongst other things, that infrastructure might be eroding, that we're going to see some more of that in the near future. So what I'm really wondering is, here we are down here in Phoenix, Arizona, or take Las Vegas, Nevada, desert cities that eat a lot of electricity, and the only reason they're really even habitable and got developed is because we got the power to run these. Short term, it would be nice for people to have generators that they could fire up when the power went out for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And tell me a little bit about that, because I'm sure you've done some of that too. Let's figure we're talking about a Phoenix suburban house, relatively energy efficient, built within the last decade or something like that, 2,000 square feet, and obviously it's got an air conditioner and a heat pump. What are we going to need if there's no juice coming in from the lines? What kind of generator and other equipment are we going to need to generate our own power?
Well, the kind of generator that I would recommend is one that burns propane. Several reasons for using propane. It's easy to store, and propane stores indefinitely. You can come back in 5 years, and you've got a propane tank full of gas, and it's still good. Propane burns clean, it burns quiet, and there are a lot of really good high-quality propane generators on the market. Coupled with the rather large generator for a normal home around here, you're probably going to want somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 kilowatts if you want to be able to maintain the kind of lifestyle that you currently maintain. Doing that long term is not too feasible because the power costs enormous amounts when using gas to generate it on site.
Right.
But to keep your power up for an hour or two, maybe even overnight, propane generator is a good way to go. Your neighbors won't be too disturbed by it. It's quiet enough. We use them a lot on the beach in Mexico, and so we've had a lot of experience with these, including being able to run air conditioners with them. There's a few things to do when you run an air conditioner off of them, like use a soft start mechanism with the air conditioner, which makes the hit on the generator a little bit softer.
Gotcha.
The kind of generators that we recommend, the two best ones probably for this kind of backup are probably Kohler is my best choice for this area, or Generac. They both make a real good, fully enclosed, very quiet propane powered generator that has a 2-wire start and the ability to go from the generator. Power goes right into an automatic transfer switch, normally about a 200 amp transfer switch, so that it's compatible with the 200 amp service on most of the homes here in the valley.
And this is stuff that has to be added, of course.
Oh, sure.
Well. Okay.
Yeah. The automatic transfer switch goes along with the generator. When the power fails, the generator's transfer, that's the automatic transfer switch I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
That automatic transfer switch will accept power from the grid
Yeah.
or from the generator, so two sources, but only allows one of those two sources to go to the household loads at one time.
Sounds like a good idea.
As long as there's AC power from the grid, coming from the grid to the transfer switch, it passes that right on through to your household loads, and so you don't ever know that it's going through the transfer switch. However, if the grid fails, then that transfer switch immediately starts the generator and picks up all the loads. You have a delay there, so you're going to lose televisions, they're going to turn off, computers going to go off, but you can turn all those back on
Of course.
once your power comes back up.
And we're only, as you said, you're only talking about 60 seconds, a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
something like that.
Somewhere in that range.
So what is that going to cost? It doesn't sound real cheap.
You're right about that. Nothing I sell is cheap.
Right. Of course.
The facts of the matter are good equipment pays for itself.
Yeah.
You're going to get what you pay for. You're probably talking $15,000 to $20,000 for a real good generator setup that will handle a complete entire home. You can use a smaller generator and just do select loads if that's what you want to do.
Well, if the power goes out in August, I would say that air conditioner is not going to be optional now. So
Yeah.
we're going to want to include that. So how does that break down? 15? Did you say 15 grand?
$15,000 to $20,000.
And that breaks down on how much for the generator and how much for the switch and the other things.
The generator and transfer switch is probably going to cost you somewhere between $15,000 and $17,000, and you're going to pay $1,000 to $3,000 for a contractor to come in and put it together for you. You also have to consider that you need a propane tank and fill that propane tank. It used to cost $1.50 a gallon to fill a propane tank, and now it's $2 to $3 or more.
Well, that's the obvious trend of all kinds of energy, and that's part of why we're here.